Hello and welcome to Coaster Strike. My name is Tom, and what you're seeing on screen right now probably doesn't make much sense, but this is the way that I spread stuff out to get a perfect park. What I've done is I've split this entire park into 4 sections, and each of them has got this, it stands for something different that you'll have in your park. So this first one is paths, and as you can see, it's pretty much full. Paths don't take up too much space, but as it said on the screen before, you want about 15% of your Oswald-Eugene counter to be made up out of paths. So yeah, I mean, this is about a quarter of the land's area, maybe not so much, because there are some gaps, but that's just a general idea. Next is coasters, and getting the right number of coasters in your park can be tricky. You can see here I've got a tangled up mess of Copperhead Strike blueprints, and each of these is worth about 8% of your Oswald-Eugene counter limit. So I usually go for about 6 coasters, maybe 7 if one of them's a bit smaller, like this Wild Mouse coaster over here for families. You don't have to have it as a family coaster, but you can if you want to. Now the next section is shops and facilities as well as other rides. So you can see here I've got quite a lot of stuff. You've got the shops and facilities, which is just made up of Chief Beefs here. But obviously you would also include toilets, restrooms, hotels, any of that. Every 10 shops you have is equal to about 1% of your Oswald-Eugene counter limit. Then you've got track rides, so I go for about 1 track ride, 1 water ride, and 1 transport ride. So 3 track rides overall, and then about 6 flat rides to fill in the gaps. So I've got 2 drop towers and 4 flat rides here. But you can go for anything you want. And then you've got terrain and theming, which is 25%. So the terrain doesn't take up much, but here you can see I've got 24 pyramids, I believe, each of which is about 1%, which adds up to 24%, obviously, and then about 1% terrain, which is about 25% of the park, which is the only section here which actually is equal to a quarter of the entire park. But yeah, that's just a general idea of how to sort out what takes up what percentage of your park, because it can be quite tricky working out what takes up what. Like, should you have 10 coasters and no theming, or 2 coasters and tons of theming? And I feel like this is a pretty good recipe for success in getting everything in the right order, so that you've got a really diverse park. By the way, these coasters are like top thrill coasters, the kind of things that you'd find at Cedar Point, like the top thrill attractions. So you could have more if they were just small, like low rendering quality roller coasters. But also things like wooden coasters and RMCs will take up more because the wooden sports are harder to render for the game. So they take a bit more, about 15% per coaster. But yeah, it's just a super simple way. I've got all of them up here, which if you want to screenshot that or come back to the video anytime to help you build your parks. But yeah, I hope you